You're in a geometry course, which means you need to know a great deal about angles and the pairs that come along with them. What type of a pair am I dealing with? Now, when it comes to angle pairs, they help us to identify geometric relationships that we're going to be seeing, and also to come up with measurements for a given angle based on the type of pair we're dealing with. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 different types of angle pairs and the characteristics that come along with them. So the first thing that we need to understand is an adjacent angle pair. So if we have adjacent angles, what we know is that they share a vertex and a side. So these two angles here and here both share this side and this vertex, therefore making them adjacent angles. Think of them as side-by-side angles, two angles that are touching side by side, sharing one side. All right, and those can be any measurements they want to be. They don't have to be an exact amount to total out. Next thing we need to understand is, what are vertical angles? Well, vertical angles, no, they're not going to be going up and down. Vertical, that term, we're used to hearing that, and you need to kind of cut that out of your brain when you're talking about angle measurements and angle pairs, because I'll show you with colors right now that vertical angles mean two angles that are opposite of each other. They're going to have the exact same value, okay? Their rays are going to be opposite, meaning this ray here is opposite to this ray here. So right there, that is a set of vertical angles. Now, another set of vertical angles would be this one and this one here. One thing that we know in geometry and in math in general is that vertical angles are always going to be the exact same measurement. What I mean by that is, if this is 36 degrees, then this over here would have to be 36 degrees, due to the fact that they are vertical angles. Complementary angles and supplementary angles go hand in hand. These are two angle pairs that have to total or sum up to a certain amount. And those two amounts are 90 degree total and a 180 degree total. Complementary totals to 90, supplementary totals to 180 degrees. What that would look like is a right angle drawn. We know it's a right angle because it's 90 degrees. It's given that symbol down in the corner. But if I were to cut that down, making it two adjacent angles, side by side, sharing this side, and I said that this here is 20 degrees, while this down here is 70 degrees, because these two angles total 20 and 70 to 90 degrees, these would be considered complementary angles. Supplementary angles are two angles that are going to total out to 180 degrees, also known as a straight pair. So what we have here is, let's say, 130. Well, if that's a 130 degree angle, the only possible angle adjacent to it to make it a supplementary pair would have to be 50 degrees. Because 130 degrees plus 50 degrees gives me a grand total of 180. Again, 4 different types of pairs that you will be seeing in a geometry course, and you will be using the knowledge that you have with the relationships those pairs and their angle measures represent. Adjacent angles, vertical angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles. Also, one thing I will remind you of is that complementary and supplementary, those two words, very, very similar. How do I remember which one's 90 and which one's 180? Well, complementary C, supplementary S. With the C, I can turn that into a 9 by doing one line, 90 degrees. With an S, I can turn it into an 8 with one line, 180 degrees. That's my little trick of the day. I hope it helps you to remember which one's which. Study hard and good luck on your upcoming test.